Are the Georgia Bulldogs in a position to land one of the best pass rushers across the country in the 2025 class? I think so, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Of course, I'm talking about Zion Grady, a pass rushing machine, a quarterback's nightmare, 6'4", 215, was committed to Alabama when Nick Saban was there. Nick Saban retires. He opens up his recruitment, and like 2 weeks later, Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann, Travaris Robinson, and Dante Williams all go visit him at Enterprise High School, showing you how much he means to this Georgia staff. He's lean, he's athletic, and the film he put out last year was phenomenal. I mean, this guy was living in the backfield, and again, he's a quarterback's worst nightmare. In fact, look at these numbers. He had 108 tackles last year for Charles Henderson High School in Troy, Alabama. 37 tackles for a loss. Dude just lived in the backfield, was unblockable last year. 22 sacks, 27 more quarterback hurries, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 blocked kicks. And it didn't say this or mention this in the numbers I looked up, but if you watch his film, he's got a tip pass that he intercepts, takes it to the house for a touchdown. This is a do-it-all defender who can line up at outside linebacker or on the edge with his hand in the ground. But what he does best is go attack the quarterback. He can win in one-on-one situations. He's lean right now, still has some time to put on more muscle and mass, but I mean, he's got some natural strength. I mean, he is just throwing opposing offensive tackles backwards, just bullying them. Then he goes and attacks the quarterback like a lion. I love this kid, and so does the Georgia staff. And now that he's uncommitted, he's out there. I do think Georgia might be in the best position to land him. He's visited Georgia in the past. He's going to be in Athens again on February 3rd, where Georgia, I think, has the potential, to take control and a lead in his recruitment. It would be a big deal. This kid is the number 40 overall player in the country. He's the number 4 edge defender. He's the number 3 prospect in Alabama. And he's a guy that Georgia's had high on their list for a long time. And he's liked Georgia for a long time. Here's what he told Dawg Post. It's hard not to succeed at Georgia. That's correct. He's right. He said, it's crazy how Coach Schumann and Coach Scott, the defensive line coach, have so much football knowledge to share. I think they are so relatable and interested in helping us get the most out of our visits to help become better players. Coach Drebe, the outside linebackers coach, is a genuine person and his coaching style is great. I like the energy and confidence at Georgia. They get the most out of their players. They've made it known that I'm still a priority for them. And he told me this when he was committed to Alabama. And they are definitely high on my list. Of course, he's going to take a visit to Athens, not this upcoming weekend, but the one after that. So not going to be his first time in Athens. And from what I'm hearing behind the scenes is that he's always liked Georgia, but being an Alabama kid, Nick Saban, Alabama wants you. Yeah, I totally understand why he committed to Alabama. But Kalen DeBoer has a little bit of a problem on his hands if he's letting guys like Zion Grady, who, lives in Dothan, basically. I know it's South Alabama. Tuscaloosa's in a different part of the state, but you can't let elite prospects in South Alabama go to Georgia if you're the head coach at Alabama. Cannot happen. I think it could happen in the 25 class. Zion Grady, again, long, lean, athletic. He's got a swim move. He's explosive off the snap. He can beat tackles with size. He can beat them with speed, with power. He appears to be fundamentally sound. I did not play outside linebacker at the collegiate level, but I've studied enough of them to know, right? I've been doing this for a long, long time, and this kid's got it. He uses his hands really well. He plays with leverage. He attacks. He can get to sideline to sideline. He can chase down the running back trying to get to the perimeter. He leaves a hit. He leaves a bruise when he gets to the quarterback. He's a big, big deal. Lean, explosive pass rusher with size, and he's only going to continue to put on more weight and more muscle. And right now, I don't think he's making a decision anytime soon. Could be in the summer, right? Could be in the spring if he knows. I mean, he's already made a commitment before. But I think if he were to make a commitment today, this young man who had 22 sacks last year, I think is trending Georgia's way. But he's not the only edge defender in Alabama who I think is trending Georgia's way. Jared Smith, was at Spain Park. Now he's at Thompson High School, 6'6", 230. This kid is like Georgia for a long, long time. Even when Nick Saban was at Alabama, some in Alabama told me that, hey, this is a kid from Alabama that Georgia has a real shot with. Even with Nick Saban at Alabama, Georgia likes this kid a lot. 6'6", 230, so he's a little bigger than Zion Grady. Couldn't find his stats or his numbers from last season, but I tell you what, Georgia's been very high on him for a long, long time. I don't remember if it was a spring game last year or a real game in the fall, but I saw Jared Smith and his family in Athens, and Kirby Smart was right there. He was talking to him, making sure they were having a great time. He is a top target. So two of the best defenders in the state of Alabama could be trending Georgia's way, and I'm not just saying that. This is something real that could happen. And Georgia didn't really take a true pass rushing outside linebacker in that last class. I mean, Chris Jones could be that guy. Quintavious Johnson could be that guy. But 2 years ago is when they took Sam Mpemba, Gabe Harris, Damon Wilson. They're going to try to do that again in this 25 class. They want some edge outside linebacker, hybrid defensive end types who can get after the quarterback and attack and bring a heavy third down presence and create pressure. Getting to the quarterback's great, but creating pressure is going to force an incompletion, can force a turnover. Those are game changers or play changers, right? Drive killers. If you can get consistent pressure on the quarterback and live in the backfield like this kid has done his entire high school career, you need those guys. And the Dogs are going out and looking to the state of Alabama for their guys. Zion Grady, Jared Smith, two guys who are not 5 stars just yet, but I think they both could be. They're both incredibly productive. I know Jared Smith was as a sophomore. Again, I couldn't find his film from last year for whatever reason. But Zion Grady lit up the stat sheet. And Auburn's going to be in the mix, right? They use NIL. They're going to throw some opportunities these kids' way. That's just what they do. That's what they've always done, and it hasn't led to anything. But if you're Georgia, they're going to say, hey, what do you need from an NIL perspective, right? And we'll try to accommodate that. But we're trying to get you to the NFL. We're trying to get you first-round money. That's not something Auburn's going to do. When's the last time a defensive lineman from Auburn went the first round? Derek Brown, years and years ago. I mean, that's well in the past. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. But Georgia is pumping out defensive linemen right now. And Alabama is too, but this is not the same Alabama. Nick Saban's gone. It's a different Alabama, right? It's just not the same. That's a fact. And these kids from the state of Alabama know that. Nick Saban's gone. Okay, I'm going to bounce. I was committed to my home state school. Sometimes you see guys love a program, so much that it doesn't matter who the head coach is. They're going to go to Georgia. They're going to go to Alabama. They're going to go to Tennessee, whatever. These kids, they're thinking, oh, Nick Saban's gone. I'm gone. Oh, Kirby Smart, you want to come down with 3 other Georgia coaches, try to win me over at my school? Sure, that's great. You know what? I'll go take a visit to Athens in a couple weeks. That's what they do. They are ace recruiters, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann and Coach Drew Bay went into the state of Alabama and got 2 of the best pass rushers, not only in the state, but across the South and across the country. Again, these are borderline 5-star guys. Georgia has a real opportunity to do some damage in the Yellowhammer State. That's what they're calling Yellowhammer State. I don't know where that comes from. Kind of odd, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Probably not, because I'm usually right about those kind of things. Yeah, big deal. Zion Grady, borderline 5-star, pass rushing machine, quarterback nightmare. He's going to take a visit to Athens, and I think Georgia might be the team to beat for him right now. And Jared Smith, 2 guys to keep a close eye on in the 2025 class. You can read more about these guys over on Dawg Post. I already wrote a story about Zion Grady. I was reading it earlier in this video. As you saw me looking down, I was reading quotes that he gave me. You can read more of them over on Dawg Post. You can do that by signing up to our free newsletter. That link is right down below. You can read all the other stories we have on Dawg Post. It's free to sign up to the newsletter. It's free to read free stories over on Dawg Post. There's a lot of free. Check us out. Read the stories. Who knows? Maybe I put the commas in the correct place in that story. I hope I did. I don't know, but we'll find out together, okay? Thanks for watching this video. Really appreciate it. But I want to see you, YouTube viewer, right, over on Dawg Post. Thanks for watching this video. Appreciate it. And I'll see you over on the website.